Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Fairy Stitch vlog. I'm Fairy, and welcome to this November episode. We are almost to the end of the second week, I think, in November, somewhere around there. And you caught me in the workroom, and so I thought I would go ahead and give you an update quickly, as quick as I can, on what's been going on. So those of you who are brand new to the channel, welcome, as well as returning viewers. I thank you all for joining me today. If you're brand new, you might be wondering, what do we do around here? Well, generally, we talk about fairies, fairyology, but there's some, cat information, there's some baking, there's some gardening, there's books, there's poetry, there's art, there's definitely knitting and crafting usually. So, yeah, you never know what you're going to get or when you're going to get it. So, you might want to, click that like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you know what's coming, sort of. So basically what I've been doing is a bunch of little things. We tried to get through Dark Fairy Day, which is over and done, and even though it didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, we did try to at least celebrate it and have a nice time, sort of. Other factors got in the way, so it messed it up a bit. But moving on, so I'm kind of trying to gear up for Fairy Christmas, and I mean, there's things that I kind of have planned that I would really like to be able to do. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to. Once again, it always comes down to money and being able to finance it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So, because of all these really troubled times right now, and everything is even more unstable than it was before, and for us it was already unstable, but it's getting worse, thanks to all the government crap going on. So, I mean, when it comes down to, do you spend the money that you normally would get from either a friend or from the yard sales or from the Ko-fi or, just a donation that somebody's trying to help you out and you appreciate it very, very much. So do you spend that money on bills just to keep your utilities on? Or do you try to get a little bit of food and then pay a little bit of the bills? I mean, it's always been kind of really hard for us in our environment and our home because we've been out of work and we've got no savings. So it's been really tough. And so with this new government stuff going on and all the mess and all the chaos and all the misery that they're causing, I mean, we're one of those families that is just, it's down to, do you pay utilities so you keep your electric and your water on? Or do you buy groceries because you're not getting the help you were getting? So it's like, it's really been rough. This past month has been hell. And it's just, I don't know if it's going to get any better. And there's plenty of people out there making all these predictions and these, and some people are just being downright nasty. Other people are being more supportive. And other people, they want to help, but they figure, it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. And they start telling you all this information that they heard as hearsay. But they're not in the program. They don't know anybody who is in the program, and they're not directly affected. And yet they're the ones who are kind of helping spread the rumors and spread the, and they're like, oh, but I heard that this is going to happen, and I heard that they're going to do it because of this reason. And you're like, no, they're not. And they're going, oh, yes, they are. But see, they're not in the program. They're not in that, they're not in the same situation as we are. So it gets frustrating because those people mean well, but they don't know. and they don't want to listen. They're like, no, 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 it's going to be fine. They said they're going to do it and do it. And this is the reason why they're cutting it. This is the reason why they're going to change it and they're going to make it better. And it's like, okay, it's good that you want to be optimistic. And I appreciate that. But the fact is that they're not in the program. They don't know how it really works. And they just, they just want to give an opinion. And it's like, okay, I appreciate that, but you're not appreciating my perspective, and you're not in my position, and you're not in the program receiving the help. So you don't know what it's like, to have it and then not have it, and then and then have people judge you constantly. It's been very, very hard, emotionally, mentally, physically, and then you just got those downright people on society pages, and they're just downright nasty because they want to be, because they're angry and they want to take it out on somebody, or, they just want to get their 15 minutes of fame and, make themselves feel better by putting somebody else down. So you got all those people out there too. And it's like, you know what? I really don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear any of it anymore. Just leave me alone. And I'm with a lot of those other people that, we are trying to earn a living. We are trying to provide for our family. We're selling off stuff. We're selling off furniture and appliances and clothes. And if the neighbors, if they donate something to us, they're like, here, and if we can't physically use it, or if I think it's a high value item and it's like, yes, I would love to keep it, and yes, I would use it and appreciate it, but if I can sell it and get something for it so I can pay a bill, I do that. It comes down to that kind of constant. Do I sell it? Do I keep it? Do I try? Do I, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Emotionally and physically, it's exhausting. So people who aren't in the situation, they don't know what it's like. And they need to stop judging, ridiculing, putting down, or just spreading information that's not accurate. That's all, Be supportive. Or just, stay out of it. I don't know what else to say. It's frustrating for us, So that's kind of why the holiday has, started being ruined for us already. We don't know what's going to be like for the rest of the month. It's tough. We're trying to hang on. I'm continually doing yard sales, trying to sell. I'm doing them online every single day, and now I'm trying to do physical, but we're supposed to get rain for the next 3 or 4 days, which even though it's sunny right now, they said by tonight it's supposed to storm, so I have to get out and get a little bit of yard work done to kind of clean up so we don't have a bunch of mess. So I won't be able to do a physical sale for at least 3 or 4 days, if not longer, but yeah, and I'm doing the best I can. I really am trying to earn money and keep us going. So anyway, it's been really up and down rough. One day it's one thing, one day we hear something else. Then within the same day, we're hearing 3 or 4 different things because everything is just up and down constantly. So we don't know what it's going to be like. So there's things for Christmas, Faerie Christmas I would like to do. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, finance it and be able to do it. So one part of me is trying to look forward to it, and the other side is being more realistic. And it's like, you're not going to be able to do this. Get real. So it's a constant emotional up and down too. What do I do? But anyway, okay. So I'm getting off subject and getting into the emotional part, which I don't want to do. So what we're going to do is move on and show you some of the stuff I've been doing. But I believe my washer has turned off, and I need to turn off the water so I don't waste it. I'll be right back. Okay, so that is done. I'm back. So to show you some of the things that I'm working on right now, first of all, as I mentioned months ago, I had started doing language studies, trying to learn a new language. And I think actually it might have been earlier this year. Might have been fairly early. Anyway, there's a free website. Although if you want better features and you want more access and this kind of thing, they do have a pay program, which they definitely push all the time. They're like, pay for this and you'll get that. And it's like, can't afford that. But anyway, basically, the site is free, and you can work within the within the limitations and still learn. So, I had started doing that, and I had given it up for a while. I got frustrated with the site, and I just got tired of it. And I thought, so I was trying to learn Italian, and then I started doing Irish because you could do a whole bunch of them if you want to. Matthew's doing I think 2 languages, and he's doing they now have a mathematics course, so he's been doing that one, which is good. He's doing really well with it. So me, I'm hopeless at math, so I probably should take it, but it's very frustrating for me. And I'm thinking, well, I'm doing languages, that's enough, So anyway, I had given it up, and about a week ago or so, I thought, I had all these notes, and I keep a journal. I have one of these little composition books, and I have pages of the notes and words and what they mean, and how to spell them and all that stuff. And then I color code them so that when I'm going through, if I just want to go over the ones that are really important, that are very much used a lot in conversation more than others, I can just focus on those. So it takes some time, and I thought, I've done this journal and I don't know how many pages are already accomplished, because I was doing it for months before I gave it up. And so, it's getting, on there. And I had just started doing an Irish journal, and then I gave it up. But I found the pages last night. Apparently, I had saved the pages and tossed the old book, whatever it was. And so last night I thought, you know what, I really do like the Irish language. And of course, I'm partly Irish as far as I know. So Ireland and the Irish fairies and fairy folklore in Ireland, and the Irish art, and of course the landscape, those beautiful rolling green hills and all that stuff. It's gorgeous. And the music, I like Irish, I like Irish stuff. And I thought I really should get back to learning it. So last night I set up a new journal, which is right here. Oops. And this one is an actual hardbound sketchbook. I bought it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't remember what it was going to be for. And it's like, well, don't remember. But anyway, it's a smaller one. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start over. And being a sketchbook, I can, do some drawings. I can do some artwork in here. So, yeah, it's going to become my Irish book. So I'm starting a new one. And I think that this is going to help motivate me to keep me going, keep working on it. So that I just recently started again. The other thing I bought was myself an early Christmas present, and I found this book, and it's so cool. It's a soft cover paper book, and I don't know who makes it. It's not, nobody, there's no publisher, there's nothing here. I'm thinking it might be an independent, somebody, somebody may have done something off of Etsy. I don't know. I bought it through Amazon, and I have no idea where it originally comes from, but it's really pretty. I mean, it's like somebody did watercolor artwork in this really cool cover, and the pages, are good, and it's a good size. So, and you, right, and it's a weekly planner. It's a witch's weekly planner, and so they've got pages in here for each month that, like you can log in the moon cycles and your moods and what you want to do, and then you've got the week. So they give you a page for each week of the month, and you can fill it in. and with to-do list, spells to cast, your intentions, any little extra notes, and then at the end of the month there's a little ritual planner page, and it's for or maybe it's the beginning. I'm not sure how I'm going to set it up. I might do it for the beginning of the month, but it's like astrological and planetary influences, tools, clothes you're going to wear, ritual thoughts, your setup, words of power, methods to realign energy, offerings and gratitude list, this kind of stuff. It's really cool. So for for those of you who are brand new to me, I forgot to mention I'm a fairyologist, certified fairyologist, and I am a fairy witch. I'm a fairy witch, and I'm an artist and a crafter, designer, fashion designer. So I do a variety of artwork, I'm a knitter, I'm an instructor. So, but yeah, for my fairy craft magic, I want to definitely connect more to the fairies and, kind of help myself along a little bit more. So anyway, I bought this book as my Christmas present, and it was only, $7, which is so cool. It was a great price. And I really am liking it. So I started setting this up a couple days ago because I only just got it. And so, we're in November, so I've kind of bookmarked it a little. And, I've already started filling it out for the week as to what I want to do. And my thought was maybe I should just write everything in pencil. That way I could change it from year to year. But then I thought, you know what? I would rather have something more permanent. So I am putting everything in ink. And what I'm doing is I'm thinking for the year. Because God willing, I will still be around and still be able and hopefully be in a much better financial place and mental place next year. I hope. I'm knocking on wood. So if that's possible, then I could reuse the book and just use it like a reference book. So here I'd filled it out with my own stuff, my own spells, my own rituals, things that I want to do through the month. And then this way it becomes a permanent reference that I can use year after year, but I don't have to change it. I can just follow it, and it becomes like a fairy grimoire or just a fairy magic reference book. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it that way and just make it more permanent. But I could have done it in pencil, and then I can just erase and add and change as I want to. So, but I'm going to go with a permanent thing, and that way I can just keep it and use it every year, and it's already written. I don't have to rewrite. I don't have to rethink. If I want to do the ritual, I can. If I decide I don't want to, or if I do need to vary it, I can, So, yeah. So this book is great. I'm really liking this. I don't know who made it. But you can tell it's watercolor, artwork, and it's really good. It's great. So I'm really enjoying this. So this is my latest project, too, is working on this, getting it set up. So because we're in November and it covers for the whole year, I'm going to start with November, then I could focus on December, and then I can go back and start working on January through October and fill it in as I go, So... yeah. I'm going to get my cherry Pepsi here. Oh. Okay, so then another project that I've started is I'm knitting Christmas ornaments, but they're little fairy witch hats. So this is actually from my own pattern, and this is the hat that I make for my witch dolls. Now, I have shown you guys my witch dolls in October when I started making those. So this is the same hat, and it's part of the pattern that I created. And instead of making the whole doll, I'm just making the hat, and it makes a cute ornament for a Christmas tree. So I knit these little guys, and then I have to kind of bend them a little and try to get them a little bit, get the brim flattened a little bit more. So they look a little more right. And then just this morning it occurred to me I should add some ribbon. Some of these will get little decorations, like little pom-poms, or they'll get little knitted flowers or little rosettes. I may add like a little fairy figurine or something to them, but I can make some ribbon, so I have plenty of little fabric ends. So this morning it occurred to me, start cutting out the fabric. And then what I'm going to do is I have to glue them on after I get them sized. But I'll kind of show you here. And then you add the ribbon to it as to make a little brim. Yeah, so that it kind of makes it look a little more like a hat. Yeah. So that's the latest project, is making these little ornaments, which I am going to sell. I'm going to make a couple Faerie, but I'm going to try to put the rest of them on my Ko-fi page. And I might as well show that to you while I'm thinking of it. But my Ko-fi page for Fairy Stitch Vlog, and down here. And the link is on the channel already. Just go up to my channel name. You'll see it in blue writing. Just click on that. It'll take you to it. Or I'll have the link in the description box. You can click on that as well. So, yeah. So I will be trying to post some. And I have a couple more. Let me grab them here. They don't have their ribbons yet, because like I said, I only just thought of that this morning. But here's a hot sparkle pink, and then I already added the little knitted blue flower onto it. But I'm going to add the ribbon. I got to add the ribbon to them. And then this one is I know the lighting is bad. I'm sorry, but it's kind of a pale green with pink, pale pink, and then it's got these little fuzzy pink little nodules, which is part of the yarn. So it's got texture. So yeah, so there's a couple I've already made. I just got to add ribbon. And I'll do that later today. So those are a couple of the projects I've been working on. And the other thing I made now these guys are going to be part of the Christmas decorations, and I can use them for Fairy Day as well. So that's the idea. I want to do multi-fairy stuff. But yeah, you're probably thinking, what on earth? Well, what are they? Well, I had one idea in mind when I made them. And I was kind of thinking fairy, Dr. Seuss, Christmas, outdoor or indoor decoration, and I was kind of like, what am I going to do? Well, I have this fabric, and I bought it to make a stuffed animal, but I bought this fabric like over 10 years ago. Haven't used it. And I thought, it's a perfect color, these colors. And I thought, what am I going to do with it? So finally, about a week ago, it occurred to me, you know what? Just make kind of like pom-pom things, and you put some little handles on them so you can hang them from somewhere or something. And I just thought, okay, and yeah, I mean, it looks funny. You can, I mean, you could even, but, I did have a thought in mind, and I was thinking Star Trek. Now, I'm going to give all of you a minute. Did you get it? Did you think Star Trek yet? And I'm thinking TV show, not movies. But do you guys remember that episode? I'm sure most of you do, if not all of you. You've already got it. But I'll tell you, when Matthew walked in and saw them sitting on the our little puppet show stage, and he went, Tribbles. And he was right. That's what I was thinking when I put them together. I was thinking tribbles, but fairy tribbles. Um, it's just one of my favorite episodes of the TV show because Matthew's a Trekkie. So I have seen the show because my mom used to watch that episode. It was one of her favorites too. Not that she was a Trekkie, but we did watch Star Trek now and then. But anyway, she loved that episode, thought it was hilarious. And so Matt has the whole thing on DVD, so we do watch it occasionally. And yeah, it's just, and I was just thinking it needs to be something that, I wanted a cylinder shape. I didn't want to do a square box. I mean, that would have been easier for me to sew. That would have been easier to cut out. And it would have made, but I thought, what am I going to do with some square, flat? I didn't know what I was going to do, but I thought, I want a ball, I want like an ornament. And so I had to kind of come up with this really weird shape. It's kind of cylinder, but it was a pain sewing these. This fabric is a pain. It gets into the machine. It was just, ugh. And I'm like, and I've only got 2, and I'm thinking, I need probably at least 3 or 4. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I'm not sure where I'm going to hang them. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them yet. But I'm thinking, if I do the yard display that I want to do for Fairy Christmas, it would be cute. And it's one of these things where they have to be taken down because they're going to get ruined if you're in the middle of the wind or rain. But I either have to wrap them in plastic and make them last longer, or I have to just remove them and put them back out, on good weather days. So, I mean, I have a plan for Fairy Christmas as a way to make some money, as a fundraiser. And like I say, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but we're in the middle of November. I need to get working on this. And I need to get the yard cleaned out. My Face Stone Garden project, I need to get back to doing that and getting that yard cleaned and straightened up. And then I can continue to work on the decorations. But because I'm running out of time, I'm going to have to do both things simultaneously. And so I thought, well, I mean, I could hang these guys, from the patio rafters, or I could hang them on the fairy village that's in the pen, and I'm like, well, I could hang them there as decorations, but I'm going to need more of them, So I need at least 2 more, and I just need to get back to working on them. But anyway, yeah, I made fairy tribbles, and we'll see what I end up making, end up finally getting them done and seeing where I'm going to actually put them. So, to be continued. Okay, so besides that, I was going to start making another witch doll, and I've not done it yet. Like I say, I got distracted just doing the hats. So I'm going to continue to make some of those. And let's see, this morning I did, because of my new journal book, it helped me. So this morning I did my smudging ritual. Clean out the bad energies in the home and stale smells and all that stuff. So it still smells like my sage stick in here. Let's see what else. And it's my phone going off. Hitting the kitty growl. Trying to think what else. I know there's other projects. Oh, you know what? I got my list. Look at the list. That's why you make them, silly. Let's see. Portrait, new journal. Okay. Okay, so the other thing was months and months ago, I invented a little card game. And so Matt and I finally played it. Because I'd done it for myself, but I wanted to see. And so he played it with me. And he's like, okay, well, maybe you might want to tweak this, or maybe you want to change this to that. And I kept, I think, one of his suggestions. The other one, I'm just going to do it my way. I think my way is what I was going for and what I want to stick with. But I did take his other suggestion, so I was kind of replaying with that. And it's kind of, it's like Uno, the card game Uno, which is one of my favorites, okay? It's similar. I don't want it to be the same, but as Matt says, well, it's kind of in the same family, and I would love to sell it to the company that makes Uno. I can't remember, is that Parker Brothers, or I forget which company makes Uno, so please forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't have it nearby me to look at it, but I would love to sell it to them, and have them give me some money for it, and they go ahead and make it. I would love that. That would be fabulous. Because I've got no way of actually manufacturing it myself. But I did want to make it different, and it's fairy related. It's fairy themed. And again, it's in the family of Uno, but it's not the same. It's not exact, and I don't want it to be exact. I wanted it to be different. So anyway, months ago, I actually came up with this idea and started it. And so we played it, and he's like, gave me a suggestion, which I took one, I've disregarded the other, and I do need to probably make some more cards. So I can show you some of the artwork. So let's see. These are some of the little drawings that I did. And like I say, I just tried to do some simple ones, easy ones. Little guys, And so these are like the preliminary drawings, and then I have to hand color all of them, each of them, because I don't have any way to copy them and make them, with the artwork and everything, so I have to color them in myself, and I'm using watercolor and pen, so yeah. So, I have to do all these. So I think I'm in the 50 range at the moment. And Matthew was like, well, you probably need more, like 65 or 70 of them to have a full working deck. So I may continue to make all of them. I don't know. I needed a break. It's very tedious and very time consuming to do card after card after card, So I have to keep taking breaks in between. But I might go ahead and do them all so that I have a full set. But then after that, I have to cut out plastic because I want to keep them clean. I want to keep them in good shape. So then I have to buy some plastic sleeves, and these are like plastic, they're like little plastic notebook pages, where you could stick in photographs or put in a full page of writing if you want to preserve it. It's like laminating it, but it's not a permanent lamination. And believe me, if I could have them laminated, that would have made them easier, but I can't afford the equipment to do it myself, and I can't afford to take it somewhere and have it done. Plus, I'm not even sure we've got a place out here that would do it. We don't have a Staples or an Office Max. So, I don't know where I would go to get it done. But anyway, yeah, so I have to make the little sleeves too. So it's taking a lot of time to get this project done. And, I get tired, I get bored, and I have to take a break. So weeks might go by before I actually go back to getting it done. So, yeah, so I got to keep getting this finished. And then that way I'll have the full deck. But yeah, I've been working on that. So that's a constant project until I get all those cards drawn and colored. Then, besides that, I am working on the pet portrait. Now, I am, for those of you who might not remember, I do pet portraits by commission these days. I used to do it, and I stopped doing them for a while. So now I'm, as a way to raise money, I'm setting up to do more pet portraits. So I'm actually doing one of my neighbor's dog. So I'm hoping he'll like it and go ahead and purchase it. I'm knocking on wood, but I got to get it done. So that is on the board here. Let me see if I can, on the little tribbles have left their fur on the computer. Look at this. Fuzzies everywhere. So let me get that real quick. So this is the reference picture that I'm using that I took of the pup. And I think he might be a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Staffordshire Bull Terrier, maybe. He could be a pit bull. I'm going to have to ask my neighbor. But he looks like it from my dog training days. That's what he looks like to me. So yeah, that was the reference picture, and I took that one. So this is the drawing so far, and it's not done, obviously. But I'm just still working on getting the shading. Once I get all the shading done, then I can go back, and I'm going to do the detail work and start adding in more color changes, and then there'll be more details with lines and all of that. So this is a start of it. And yeah, so I'm trying not to rush through, but at the same time, I do want to get it done. And so I need to finish. But yeah, this is the other project that I'm currently working on. So those are a couple things. Like I said, I've got to get back to doing the Faystone Garden work so I can get things cleaned up, and then I can see if I'm actually going to be able to do the Faerie Christmas display and all that. I'm hoping I will be able to. And again, that would be kind of like a fundraiser kind of thing. If somebody wants to come and see it and donate something to me to help us get through, that would be fantastic, and that's kind of the idea. But we'll see. I do have a few neighbors which I would just invite just to come and see it. So it depends if I can do it. I've not been able to do it yet. I usually try to do something for the front yard, but this time I really want to focus on doing the Faystone Garden, which is in our back. So I want to be able to actually have more room. Plus, it would be safer because it's behind fences, that kind of thing. So we'll see. That's the goal. Again, it would be to try to raise, some donations to help us keep going. That's, another motivation. But I do want to spread the Faerie Christmas vibe and, bring some cheer, not just to us, but to a few of our neighborly friends on the street here. So we'll see. But that's the goal. I'm trying to work toward that. Besides that, I'm just trying to do more with my fairy craft, my fairy magic. My lair needs to be cleaned. I need to dust and move things around and all of that. So I need to go through my candles. I need more candles. That's something else. If any of you out there who are candle makers or work for a candle company, and you would like to send me a free sample of a candle and you want me to review it, please let me know. I'd love to do it. I would do it for anything. For any candle company. I desperately love candles. I use them in my practice almost every single day. And so, and I like all of them. I like the shapes. I like, just tapers. I like the votives. I like the chunky ones, which I usually can't afford. I got the big candle ones. I do make candles myself, but I'm out of product, and I can't afford to buy the supplies to make more right now. But I would love to try other people's candles too. And so please, if you want to send me something, do let me know. Do message me somehow, some way. And, that way I can let you know where I am to send it. And it'd be fabulous. I would love to do some reviews of your candles and have a really great new product, because eventually if I like something big enough, I will praise it like crazy. And on here, plus I have my Facebook pages, my vlog pages there, and eventually, hopefully, if finances get better for me, I can actually start purchasing things. So again, it's beneficial to candle makers and companies as well as myself. And of course, I always need yarn. So if anybody, yarn makers, wants to donate yarn to me, again, for another review, I would love that as well. And that seems to be something that happens a lot for podcasters. I haven't had that opportunity yet, and that would be fabulous. I would love it, and it would really help me, and I can help you. So, please let me know. The other thing I really need to get, and I'm hoping I can find one at some point, is I want to get a fashion designer's dress form mannequin. I would really like to have the ones that you can adjust, where it can be, really trim and slim size, and you turn the dials and they expand out, so you can use full figured shapes for your designs. I would really love to have one of those. I had one years ago, and I sold it. We needed money, and I sold it. And now I am going back into my fashion designing, and I would really need it. I do need it. So, again, I wish I could buy one, and I would like to get one if I can, but I can't afford it at this point. I just can't use the money for that. But I hope I can get one at some point. But anyway, so those are some goals and things I wanna achieve. But rough times. I don't want to get emotional. So moving on. Okay. So a couple of things I did want to talk about. Because I just recently discovered them, and it's so cool, is, can't see, sorry, I needed a minute there. Okay, so one of the things I recently discovered, again, we don't have TV service, so all I can do is watch things on YouTube, as long as I can hang on to my electric and my internet, is the new British series. It's called Game of Wool, Britain's Next Great Knitter. And I finally got to see an episode, because I've been hearing tidbits about it for a couple of weeks. They were like, this new show's coming on, everybody needs to check this out. And I was like, okay, and I would have, if I could have found it, and lucked out. Somebody posted a couple of episodes within the last couple of days, and I just found them yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I watched the first 2 episodes, and it was good. I mean, I really liked it. I really thought it was informative, because they tell you a little bit about, like the first challenge was was it 8 or 10 knitters had to knit a Fair Isle sweater, and I've never knit Fair Isle. And so I've heard of it, of course, and I've seen examples, but I've never done it. Anyway, but so they break it down for you, so, for people who've never heard of it, they're like, okay, this is what Fair Isle is, this is how you do it, kind of thing. And so they give you a little information, and then they have the knitters knit it, and they do like a single, so each knitter does the first project on their own, and then they have to do a group project at the end, and they get judged on both, and then whoever does the best job in that for both challenges, they get a little sheep badge, which is so cute, and then they have to eliminate somebody every week. So think of it this way. The best way I could describe it, because I told Matthew about it. So the best way I could describe it to him, and the best I can say to you is, think Project Runway, but nicer with yarn. And it was so cool, and I like Project Runway. I don't like how they changed it in this latest season. I ain't going to get into that. I'm just going to say from season 1 of Project Runway until 18, 19, I think I've seen them all. So from 1 to 18, they were good. They were great. Okay. But anyway, so Game of Wool, think of Project Runway with yarn. And it was so cool. And for some reason, I don't get it. But apparently, this show has got a lot of knitters and crafters on YouTube worked up. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'm like, why is everybody freaked out? I mean, it was cool, it was relaxing, it was informative. There wasn't the usual, when it comes to competition shows, there wasn't the backstabbing and the bickering and all that stuff. There wasn't any of that drama. It had drama in the fact that they had to get this major project done in 12 hours, and it's like, geez, and I just, and they're in the middle of this beautiful Scotland landscape, and they're talking about, how knitting relates to Scotland. And the second challenge in the second episode, one of the challenges was they had to knit doggy knitwear. That's Charcoal playing with her bell, by the way, my cat. But they had to do doggy fashion outfits, which was so cool. I love the animal challenges. Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know why people are up in arms or just, freaked out by this show. I mean, it's cool. I enjoyed it. It's, and I hope I will be able to see more episodes in the future. I hope, as long as they get posted. So I don't know why everybody, or some people, not everybody, but I don't know why some people are just freaked out by this show. It was well done. It made sense. It was informative. It was cool to see these designers come up with different ideas. I'm like, what's the matter? What's everybody upset about? It was great. I like it. So, yay. Watch Game of Wool. Nothing wrong with it. It was good. So, yeah, so I only just discovered that. So I really liked it. And Matthew did sit through one episode with me. I think he was a little bored. He's watched a lot of the Project Runways with me, but he likes the fighting. He likes the drama. He likes the bickering. That can stress me out, and I don't really like it too much. But he likes it because I guess it's kind of like the action. It moves it along. Yeah, not me. But, so he'll watch Project Runway with me. But to give him credit, he did watch one episode of Game with Wool. But I think he was a little bit bored because it's just not his thing, But it was too calm, too nice for him. But he's not a knitter, I am. He's not. So, there's plenty of things he likes that I really don't like. They're too violent, too much drama, too much I just, so... But anyway, I liked Game of Wool, so you've got my vote, you've got my endorsement, even though they're not paying me or anything. I just liked it. I thought it was great, so check it out. Give it a chance. But I liked it. I'm going to continue to watch it, so I hope it doesn't get canceled. I hope they can continue to run it. So, anyway, so that was a new discovery, and I enjoyed that. Charcoal, what are you doing? You're going to knock everything over. Come on now. Behave yourself. She's getting into my stuff sitting here on the bed. Don't know what you're trying to do. Actually, I do know what you're trying to do. She's trying to get into the window behind behind the computer here. There really isn't enough room, Missy, but she's gonna try to do it. Just as I'm saying it, she's trying to do it. Get down. No. Good girl. Stay over there. Cats. Just like kids. They're just like kids. Drive you crazy. Anyway, okay, so then the other thing I was going to mention is one of the podcasts that I watch that I enjoy is Embracing Magic. And for any of you who are in the witchcraft scene, you probably have heard of them. If you haven't, please check them out. No, now we're not in cahoots. They don't pay me to endorse them and all of that. I'm just a fan. So I'm just fangirling a little bit here. But I do watch them, and the three ladies are three witches from Britain, and they're very informative. They're very interesting to listen to, and they're down to earth, and they're very much into, promoting a good image for the witch and all of that. And I appreciate them being so open about their own personal experiences. It takes a lot of guts, and they, not all of them are comfortable doing it, they've said, but they look comfortable, they look good doing it. So anyway, one of the recent episodes, they had two musicians, singers, composers, creators of this new musical, which apparently these two ladies have been working on for 8 years. So this episode is more of an interview with these two guests, and they've created a musical called Coven, and it's being shown at the Kiln Theatre in England somewhere. Please forgive me. I'm in America. I'm never been to England. I don't know everything. I don't know all the cities, but it's the Kiln Theatre. I'm pretty sure. I wrote it down. Yeah, and it's called Coven. It's a musical. And it's written by Rebecca Brewer and Daisy Shute. I think I'm saying it right. And both of them were on this episode of Embracing Magic. And they talked about, for over an hour, of their project and the process and why they wrote it. And then they did an a cappella version of one of the songs called She. And oh my gosh, and the two ladies from Embracing Magic, they're sitting there crying. I'm watching it sitting there crying here. But it was good. It was such a good song. It's so pretty. And then I found here on YouTube, there's a couple more songs of rehearsal videos from the musical of their cast singing, and it was Care and Burn Our Bodies is the name of the songs. Please look them up if you were interested. But my gosh, they're so good. I mean, I wish I could see this musical. I wish I could go and see it. But if you're in England, if you're in, the British Isles, if you're in Europe and you want to see it, go to this theater, get your tickets and go see it. I don't know if it's started to run yet, but I know you can buy the tickets now because Embracing Magic has a link. They put a link in the description box on their episode. So please check out their episode. I think it was The Forgotten Women of the Witch Trials or something. I think that's their heading. And it says Creators of Coven. So please check out their episode, subscribe to their channel, and watch this, listen to these ladies, and get to the end of the episode and listen to these two ladies sing this song, and then go to YouTube and check out the other two songs, the rehearsal songs. They're so good. And just so good. I mean, I'm sure this musical will be fantastic. I really hope that it's a success. I wish I could see it, but I got no way to do that, no way to get there. Couldn't afford it. But I would love to. So anyway, yeah, Coven is the name of the musical. And check it out because the music was so good. So powerful. And the story they said is related to the Pendle Witch trials there that happened somewhere in England. I know there's documentaries on YouTube here about that. And I think I've seen one, but it's been like a year. And I don't know if I took notes on it or not, because I also keep my witch journal, my witchcraft journal, my fairy witchcraft journal. I keep a couple of fairy journals, but this one is my notebook. And so in this one is mostly the witchcraft stuff. And so I may have written a note in here. I'd have to go through it and find it. If not, I've got to watch a couple. But it's all related to that story of the little girl that accuses her own family of being witches or something. And it doesn't end up well for the family, of course. And then she survives and grows to adulthood. And then it gets turned on her where somebody else accuses her of being a witch, and she has to go through it herself again. Something like that. I've seen it. But anyway, check that out. But check out Embracing Magic's episode. Watch the Covenant videos if you're interested. And I discovered that, and I thought, you know what? I really like that. I wish I could see it. So maybe at some point, but right now I won't be able to. But anyway, that was cool. So I'm like, yeah, there's something else that would be amazing. I think that's an amazing idea. So I really do hope that those two ladies that created this really get a major success out of it. Because, like I say, the songs, they're amazing. So I don't see why it wouldn't be a success. Knock on wood for them. I do hope. So anyway, again, I'm not being endorsed by any of these places. I'm just fangirling and spreading the word because I like it. I think it's cool. And you guys can check it out if you'd like to. So anyway, yeah. So those are basically what I've been working on. Like I say, I'm trying to get some more of my fairy craft magic stuff worked on. I need to clean the lair a little bit. And I was making herb jars and things. I'm trying to sell stuff. So my Ko-fi page, like I say, I've been putting more stuff on there. I would like to do some more of the magic stuff. It's just, I have to be able to ship it. And so some things I think are just too fragile because I can't afford the packaging. If I could afford really good secured packaging, then I could do it. But the thing is, if I have to pay for the packaging, then I've got to charge the customer to cover that too. So it makes a little jar of herbs a lot more money because I've got to pay for the package too. So, and there's the shipping involved. I mean, it gets expensive. So I'm trying to keep the costs down for myself as well as for the customer. So again, if you are interested in purchasing something, whether it be the bigger artwork or the magic supplies, something I may have mentioned on a podcast, but I usually will tell you if I have it on Ko-fi or if I can't put it on my Ko-fi page. If I can't, I'm still selling it on Facebook. I still try to do my ads on Facebook. Now, sometimes the Facebook groups, they look at an item and they won't let me put it on there. They don't want it on the group because they think it's something weird. And it's not, but they don't take the time to look at it. They just go by a title or something. They don't really look into it. They just judge on really one word and they go, nope, and they don't let you put it on there. So, it's hard to even do that. But I do sell my stuff in person. I do try to do in-person sales. So, I mean, I can make an arrangement. If I'm going to do a sale for those items alone, which I do want to do, I have to wait till the weather's good enough. So maybe one day in December I'll be able to do it. I will mention it to you guys here, and I will have ads for Facebook as they let me do it. And Ko-fi, of course, I always mention. So become a follower on my Ko-fi page because then you'll see my little updates as well. And then And you could come in person to my home studio, the Magic Lair, and actually pick up stuff. So, because I do artwork and I do fairy gardens and I do the herb jars and candles and dolls and the fashion design stuff. accessories, a variety of things, related to fairies and witchcraft. So, I do sell the stuff when I can, and I'm trying as best I can. So anyway, yeah, so stay in touch, subscribe, and be aware of what's going on, and then that way you'll know what's available and how you can get it, and which would help me. Because that's how I'm trying to raise my money. That's how I'm trying to earn money. So, okay, so I think that covers all the stuff I've been doing, all the good stuff. Usually as soon as I click off the camera, I think, darn it, I forgot. My nose is running. Sorry. Sinuses. So again, they say there's just a couple other things that, as far as my fairy witchcraft, that I need to do. There's a couple of things later. I'm not going to do them on camera, but I am going to do the jump the flame ritual, which I've never done before. I'm going to do that. And I always do my gratitude candle ritual every night, or most nights. So that always gets done at the end of the day, to kind of, it's a way to thank the fairies and the universe for getting us through the day. And then, of course, if anything happened that was extra special during the day, I usually light it right away to show my gratitude. Because again, as I've mentioned before, you need to show gratitude to the Fae for being around, for helping you, for motivating you, for inspiring you, or just giving you company. But you can't say the words thank you, because it's an insult to them. In the fairy world, those two words are an insult for some reason. We still don't know why, but so you need to reword it. You have to word it in a different way or show them something. So, you could take an offering out to the fairy ring, which I do during the full moon, but our full moon cycle has already passed. And I would assume the next one is probably, is it the end of November, or is it like the middle of December? I forget where it falls, but now that I've got my new journal, I can log it in, and then that will help me remember for next year when to be ready, because I think the last big full moon is in December, but I think we've already had ours for November then, because that was last week, I think, or right before. I forget. I didn't have my journal then. I didn't mark it, but I know I did do a ritual on the full moon night. I know that, and I know I took an offering out. I took one of those little pumpkins out to the fairies, to the fairy ring, and I gave them fresh water. And I talked to them a few minutes, and, my usual ritual. So I did do that. But yeah, I want to do the jump the flame ritual. I've never done it before. And for those of you who are not familiar with the jump the flame, what I've been told, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit for me, for my fairy magic, is for fairy magic anyway, it's going to be where you light a little candle. Now you could do it outside, but if you're going to do it outside, you got to do it safely so you don't burn your yard or your house down. And you got to do it outside, and you got to, have water nearby so you could put it out and stay safe. But I mean, you could do like a whole big ritual as a group or just individually on your own. And so you could set up like a little tiny campfire out there, or you could just take some candles out in a bowl or something and set it out, and then you jump over it. You jump over it after you set your intentions and you put in your mind what you want to do. So you can do it as a way to discard things from your life that you need to let go of or get rid of, or you can do it as a ritual to bring something to you, whether it be happiness or abundance or money, or you need somebody to return to you, or This kind of thing. So something you can bring, or you can do both. You just jump over it twice. So you can do the first one where you're discarding what you want and jump over it, then kind of cleanse everything, and then do it again. This time you do for the things you want, and or things you need that you want to bring into your life. So anyway, I've never done this ritual before, and I want to do it. So I am going to do it indoors, but again, you got to be very safe. But all I'm going to do is just light a little candle. It's going to be in a safe container or something. Put the container on the floor, and then after I do all the prep, then you jump it, and it's supposed to help manifest what you're thinking about, So I do want to do that, and I might do that later today or tonight. So yeah, but I've never done that ritual before, so I want to do it. So again, it's something else I put in the journal as to try, and I write up a little spell for myself, and that way I can do it. So yeah, so I'm trying to do some more of my fairy magic, and every day, you're working with your magic, whether you really realize it or not, but it adds more power to it when you actually think about it, when you stop and go, okay, I'm going to bake this cake today, but I'm baking it with the intention of making us happy, feeding our tummies, and, promoting a little happiness for the day. And, you're getting a little bit of fruit in there, this kind of thing. Help sweeten up your mood a little bit, and, hopefully just cheer you up a little bit. There's a little kitchen witchery right there, a little fairy kitchen witchery. But if you don't think about it, then you're not really adding the intention to it. And that's sometimes what I forget. I get so busy doing stuff and you forget. Even just dusting your house or vacuuming or doing all three things, you're cleaning. So here you're doing household, brownie cleaning. So if you think about it, I'm cleaning out the stuff I don't need. I'm cleaning out the bad energy, the bad vibes. I'm cleaning out the dirt and the dust and all this, but also that energy, that stale energy. I'm blowing it out the windows, or, vacuuming it up and throw it in the way, So if you don't put the intention onto it, it doesn't have as much power, even though you are doing it. And I forget. So I have to, I have the journaling. I think it's going to help me that daily I can look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, you're going to bake this, or you're going to clean that, or you're going to make this. Remember to add your intention to it. Add the spell to it, And so, yeah, that's something I need to work on for sure. So I got a lot on my plate. It's a lot to do. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm hoping to be doing. So again, thank you for spending this time with me. I know the video's getting a little long. But I thank you so much for listening and for watching and taking part. Please, check out my Ko-fi and the Facebook pages, and we have PayPal if you'd like to donate or whatever. And again, if you're a manufacturer of yarn or, candles, or you've got a dress form you want to, donate, please let me know. I would thank you so much. And again, for the rest of you, and for all of you, I hope that we all have I hope that we all have a happy fairy Thanksgiving. I wish you a fairy Thanksgiving. I hope it's happy. I hope you're able to be with your family, be with your friends, enjoy your coworkers and your colleagues and your neighbors. Take care of your pets. Be sure to give an offering to the fairies, and just create your own magic for the holiday. And I do wish that. And for those of you who are in the same boat as I am, as far as with the government programs being cut and changed, and believe me, I'm there with you. And it's rough, it's hard, it's emotional, it's stressful, and we've got to all just hang on, stand up for ourselves, fight for what's right, and hang in there. And hopefully things are going to turn around for the positive. You know, let's create the magic, not not tear down the good stuff, you know. So, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope to see you in the next episode, whichever that might be. You know, sprinkle a little fairy dust and see what I can conjure up for you next time. So thank you so much. And again, happy holiday. Knocking on wood for all of us. And have a very good day. We'll see you in the next one. Knock on wood.